Hey everyone, today we are going to be talking about subtracting decimals, and I know that you have seen this before and it's pretty basic, so I'm just going to give you one sample problem and then you're going to do 3 problems on your own. Um, so pay attention while I am talking about this one so that you know what to do with your practice problems. The first problem says Aja had 3.36 kilograms of apples and 2.28 kilograms of oranges. He estimated that he had about 1 more kilogram of apples than oranges. How many more kilograms of apples than oranges does Aja have? All right, so let's look closely at the word problem so we know we don't miss any parts. So we know for right now that he has 3 36 hundredths of a kilogram of apples, and we know that he has 2 and 28 hundredths of a kilogram of oranges. So he has more apples than he has oranges, but he estimated that he had about 1 more kilogram of apples than oranges. But the question is asking us, how many more kilograms of apples than oranges does Aja have? So he already estimated for us. He estimated that he had about 1 more kilogram of apples. But we want to know exactly how many more kilograms of apples than oranges he has. So let's look at this problem really quick. We are going to estimate just because it's a good practice to get into and it's pretty easy to do. So if I have 3 and 36 hundredths and I'm subtracting 2 and 28 hundredths, then that tells me that I'm estimating first. So first of all, I have to round my numbers. 3 and 36 hundredths rounded to the nearest whole number would be 3, and 2 and 28 hundredths rounded to the nearest whole number would be 2. And this is a easy as pie problem. 3 minus 2 would equal 1. So make sure you remember when we round to the nearest whole number, we're going to be going to the ones place. And then we have to circle these two numbers, and I'm going to say, okay, is 3.3, is that closer to a 4 or is it closer to a 3? And we know that it's closer to a 3, so we're going to leave it at 3. We're not going to round it up. And then we look at 2.2. We're going to circle that. And when I'm looking at 2.2, I can tell that 2.2 is closer to a 2. It's not closer to a 3. It's closer to a 2. So we are going to leave it at 2 as well. So 3 minus 2 is 1. So we know that his estimate is correct. Okay, he already estimated. So we know that that's correct. But what we're going to do now is we're going to find out exactly how many more apples than oranges he has. So I'm going to line my subtraction problem up according to place value. Now remember, that means that my all my place values should be in the same line vertically. Okay, so right now my hundredths place is all lined up, my tenths place is lined up, my decimal points are lined up, and my ones place is lined up. All right, so I'm going to be subtracting here. So I'm going to start obviously with my smallest number, just like usual, and I'm going to remember to subtract just the way you normally subtract. I'm going to go ahead and put my decimal down here so I don't forget it. But then I'm just going to go ahead and get started. 6 minus 8, I cannot do that, so I'm going to have to regroup. So I'm going to cross out my 3. I'm going to take 1 away from my 3, and I'm going to add it to my 6 here, so that makes 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. Then I'm going to subtract my tenths place next, so 2 minus 2 is 2. And last but not least, I'm going to subtract 3 minus 2, my ones place. 3 minus 2 is going to be 1. So my answer would be 1 and 28 hundredths of a kilogram. That's how many more apples he has than oranges. Now, a good way to check your answer is to draw a quick picture. So remember, this is very important to remember because I know a lot of you guys have been struggling to remember this. When you are drawing a picture to show subtraction, you only draw the larger number because your smaller number is the number that's getting taken away. So if you draw that one as well, so for example, I'm drawing 3 and 36 hundredths right now. And if I were to draw my 2 and 28 hundredths, then that would mess me up because I am going to be taking away, not adding it. All right, so obviously when I'm going to start right here and I'm going to say, okay, I'm taking away 8 hundredths. Do I have 8 hundredths? I do not. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to regroup my, I'm going to have to regroup my, oops, I forgot to add one. I messed that up. Sorry. So I'm going to have to take away one of my tenths, and I'm going to cross it out, but I'm going to show that I'm regrouping it by drawing an arrow over here to show where I'm regrouping it to. I'm regrouping it to 10 because there are 10 hundredths in 1/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now can I take away my 8 hundredths? I can. So I'm going to go ahead and circle 8 of my hundredths. Ooh, trying to do this without crossing you out. Okay. Don't need those anymore because I'm subtracting them away. So how many do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many hundredths do I have here? 8. So I know that I subtracted the right amount of hundredths. And next I'm going to take away my tenths place. So I have 2 tenths to take away. Well, I have 2 tenths left, so I'm not going to have to regroup, but I'm going to cross them out because I'm going to use them, or I'm going to be subtracting them. And last but not least, how many ones am I taking away? I'm taking away 2 ones, or 2 wholes. So I'm going to go ahead and cross those each out. 2 of my wholes I'm crossing out. So if I look, I just recognized my mistake because I was checking my answer. See, this is why it's important. I made a mistake because I did not, when I did 2 minus 2, I just wrote a 2 down here for whatever reason, when really I should have written a 0. And if your teacher can make that mistake, you can make that mistake. So, just saying. So, what do I have left over? I have 1 whole left over, and I have 8 hundredths left over. All right, so what's my answer? 1 and 8 hundredths. So that's why it's important to draw a picture, because otherwise you might make a mistake like I did. Another thing that you can do to check your answer, and I'm just going to add this real quick, is you can go ahead and use inverse operations, which means use addition, because the inverse of subtraction is addition. I can use inverse operations to check it by adding together the difference with the number I'm subtracting. So I could add together 1 and 8 hundredths. Add those together. Okay, 8 plus 8, 16. So I'm going to carry my 1, drop and put my 6 down here. 2 plus 1 is 3. And 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 and 36 hundredths, which is my original number. So I can check it that way as well, by addition. All right, now it's your turn, so go ahead and get out your math journals. Make sure that you write down your WISC, so your watch, summarize, question. Please do not forget to do that. And also answer these 3 questions, and you will be good to go. Thank you, guys.